what's going on, guys? I'm here with Tanner from Fuelab, and we're at PRI. Tanner, I think a lot of people, we know what the names are of the fuel components, but we don't know what they do. So let's get started with a fuel pressure regulator. What is it? What does it do?
All right. Well, I mean, somewhat of a simple and a complex question at the same time. So a fuel pressure regulator regulates fuel pressure to your fuel rail, mostly. It also maintains return pressure back to the system. So it's a good way to make sure that your fuel injectors are actually fed, but also making sure that you're not going to, lean out, right?
Right.
So the crazy thing with fuel pressure regulators is how important the sizing is. That's one of the things a lot of people don't really understand about them. They just say, oh, how much horsepower is this fuel pressure regulator good for? That's not a thing. So fuel pressure regulators don't work like that. They work all off flow. And the most important part is the return orifice. So the key is having the smallest return orifice possible to maintain base pressure you need.
Okay.
So if a return orifice is too small, your base pressure is going to be 60, 70 PSI, you won't be able to turn it down. And then the second you start to get into power and you can actually consume the fuel.
And then you can turn it back up.
Well, where the regulator should be, what happens is you watch your fuel pressure start at 70, and then all of a sudden it's like 20. And you're like, oh, it's not enough. No. You're not on a properly sized regulator. So once you go up to a bigger return orifice, then you can really start to maintain your pressure. So you can get that to a 43, 50, 60 PSI base.
Yeah.
And then as you start to ramp in, it's going to stay at 43, 50, 60 PSI base.
That makes a lot of sense. So what's a good vac source for our fuel pressure regulators? Because I know that's something that a lot of Mitsubishi guys have some trouble with.
All right. So you're going to go to a loaded question immediately. Okay. So this is where I think this is a lot of tuners have a lot of myths. You have a lot of guys who are like, oh, well, I read this on, forum blank. No, it doesn't matter. Like, honestly, as long as it's not a shared vacuum source for the rig, that's it.
Okay.
So for me, I always use the blank ports on pretty much any of my Evos.
Right.
I've always just tapped directly into the intake manifold and done an AN line out. Never used a rubber line because I just want it to be as consistent as possible. And it's always been perfect.
So don't tee it off.
No, and as long as your logs show that it's rising at 1-to-1, then you're fine. I mean, that's really the indicators. As long as you can pull data and you can say, hey, is my fuel pressure coming up as soon as I'm on boost? Yeah, then you're good. As long as it's not tanking, then we're doing everything right.
Okay. So my next question for you, we think of fuel filters as this like simple thing that, it's one size fit all. We want to go the biggest right off the bat, even though we have a 16G and blah, blah, blah. And then there's so much myths about E85 is going to eat up this filter, this filter. Explain to us what a fuel filter is and how it works.
So fuel filter prevents particulates from entering the injectors. Injectors are incredibly sensitive to anything. So for anything fuel injected, it's supposed to be 10 micron or less.
Okay.
Now, the big thing is that if you look for a 10 micron filter, they're all going to be paper. They're just called paper elements. Do not use paper elements. We sell them, but honestly, they're for guys who have like a hot rod that has a carburetor that's not ever going to care. Any level of ethanol degrades that paper almost instantly.
Okay, and it's impossible to find non-ethanol gas really these days.
Yeah, exactly. So since you get E10 out of the pump minimum, it's obviously, I mean, we're DSM guys. We're on 85. We're on 98.
Right.
We're not playing with like race gas anymore. We play with ethanol.
Right.
So a 6 micron filter, it's microglass. That's what we have in our arsenal, and it is like perfect for any fuel injector. It's perfect for pump E85. It's perfect for drum E85. Anything you can think of, and it's going to filter the way it should and make sure that those injectors are not going to stick open or clog, which is way worse.
What you want, yeah. You lean out, you lose an engine. There you go.
Yeah, crazy how much more an engine is than a filter.
That's exactly. And you guys offer all kinds of different filters, and not just, you can even do the stock replacement one, which I know a lot of guys use in their everyday car.
Yep. Yeah, so, I mean, the thing with the filters is that sizing, that's kind of more packaging related to a degree. As soon as you start to cross over a lot of flow, if you have a smaller fuel filter, you'll get a really big pressure drop between the inlet and the outlet. So you want a big enough filter to where you minimize the pressure drop across it.
Okay.
So for us, we give you a flow range. So it makes it really easy to say, okay, well, I have a 1,000 liter an hour pump. Well, on a 1,000 liter an hour pump, we have one filter that's designed for it because you don't see a pressure drop across it. Like you see somewhere less than a half PSI.
Wow.
Which is like what you want to do because, if you have to have, say, 60 PSI at the pump just to hit your 43 PSI at the rail, well, you're going to overdrive the pump constantly. So then when you stack 50 pounds of boost on it, you're like, oh, we're over 100 PSI total.
and then wear your pump out faster.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, speaking of pumps, I know the Fuelab drop-in pump is one of the most popular ones for our DSMs and our Evos. So I want to talk about how those types of pumps work.
So for our drop-in pumps, they're all turbine-style pumps. So they have a small turbine on the bottom that actually pulls fuel through it and goes to the outlet. We have two different variants. We have our 340, which is our brush version. This is like pretty much anything under 500 on E.
Okay.
As long as you're not on too much boost. Like, I mean, that's like a really good like Evo 10.5 hot side setup. Like that and like cams, and you're perfect on E85.
So
It's
the perfect street car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's what I ran in my car forever. I started doing some testing, and I actually went up to our 500.
Mhm.
Our 500 is good for more like 800
Okay.
at the tires on E85. That one, brushless, draws way less amperage. It's a little more complex to install just because you have an extra wire to deal with.
Yeah.
But outside of that, they all work pretty much the same.
Okay.
So it's not, crazy magic to get it to work. You just have one extra step, which is the controller, and then you're ready to go. And you don't have to speed control it. You can let it run full tilt, and I mean, it's simple.
And anything outside of that, we probably need to be looking at out-of-tank options, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, depending on the setup, like, if you go to a cell, we can still do in-tank, and we can go up to 1,100 liters an hour.
Oh, wow.
And a little over, but we'll just say 1,100 to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
And at 1,100, you're going to be able to make north of 1,800 wheel horsepower
Okay.
on E98.
Wow.
So that's really like you're starting to get into such a high realm of what you need that there's going to be a point where you just switch to a mechanical pump anyway because you're making so much power.
Right.
But this is like you can still do a drag and drive, and this is like the perfect setup for that.
Perfect. And I think in the Mitsubishi world, fueling it really is everything, right? We have so many turbo options, but really a lot of people are running the same turbos. But when it comes to fueling, people are running this, people are running that, people are running this, just because they don't know the right answer.
Yeah.
So I really feel like people need to do their research, listen to this video, and buy the right stuff for your car, for your setup. Don't just go. People want to go the biggest right off the bat, right?
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Tanner. I really appreciate it, man.
No problem.